Hi everybody, Greg here from Two Old Guys with Crossbows, and today I'm going to do a little more of a review on the Omega site. Now, remember we have the first Omega site. It's now what's available is called the Omega 2. It's the second generation of their site, but from what I've seen, it doesn't look like it's got a whole lot more options, but now that I've had a better look at that site and got it sighted in on the bow in the last video that we did, um, I felt that I should maybe do a review on some pros and cons. These are personal opinions, but it's what I found, and I thought you would find them interesting. So stay tuned, and let's get on with the video. As I said earlier, we have the Omega first generation site, and this is a picture of the Omega 2, which is pretty much the same site from what I can see. But I went online and got some fresh pictures so I could talk about this. And the first thing I probably want to talk about are some of the pros. And the first thing we'll talk about is price. Now, as you can see, right on the Omega site, the Omega 2 site is $439 US. And we bought the first generation because it was actually on sale for half price. So by the time it was all said and done with shipping to Canada and that, we ended up only paying about $300, or Jason ended up paying about $300 for that site. And those were Canadian dollars after the exchange. So quite a good deal. The next thing I want to address is probably we'll look at some of these options that they say that the Omega 2 has. So let's go through these options. The new Omega 2 boasts these additional features: 5 different reticle scales to match the shooting device you choose. In the first generation, I know we had different reticles, so I can't say how much of a difference that is. The low light enhancement for pre-dawn and post-dusk shooting, first generation has that. The 2x 6x zoom feature, first generation has that. A digital level on the LCD screen, first generation has that. A detachable sun shield for extreme sunlight conditions. This comes with the first generation. I think Jason had ordered it separate, but it does. You can have it. The only thing is, they only give you little round Velcro stick-ons that you stick on your screen, and on the crossbow, they aren't enough to hold the sun shield in place when you fire. It continually jumps off. So we are looking at getting some Velcro strips to put in place to help hold that sun shield in place. And yes, you will want that sun shield, because looking at that little 2-inch screen, have you ever tried to look at your phone in the sun? Well, it's pretty much the same with this sight. Automatic true distance calculator. And yes, the first generation has that too. It does have a rangefinder built in, and it gives you distance right on your screen. So I don't know what the difference of the Omega 2 is over the first generation Omega. Well, so far there you have it. I don't really see a whole lot of difference between the Omega 1 and the Omega 2. One thing, the Omega 2 or the Omega 1 does not have any night vision or thermal imaging.
So that's a good thing for people like Jason and I who live in Saskatchewan, where you are not allowed to have any night vision or thermal imaging scope or equipment attached to any of your firearms. It's a local thing. You have to check with your local jurisdictions. Here we're regulated provincially. In Alberta, you can have one on, but you cannot hunt at night. Nowhere in Canada do I know of night hunting. So it's a little different than the folks for in the U.S. or wherever else in the world you are. You have to check your local things. One thing I have to say about this scope again is the price. It's priced very reasonably at $439 US, and if you check out other digital scopes, imaging equipment that work this way, um, you're not going to find one for $439. Even I bought another scope. You may have seen that video before. I've done videos with my ATN. I have it mounted on my air gun right now, my PCP air rifle, and I do a lot of varmint hunting and stuff with it. And that scope is $900. And again, it does not have any night vision or thermal imaging at all. So, yeah, half the price, $439. That is a very good price in my opinion. But let's get on and look at some of the other pros and cons that I found about this scope. Hope you're enjoying the video so far. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. We can use your support. Thank you very much.
Now, the next thing I'm going to look at here is the rail screws. It goes onto a Picatinny rail, but as you can see in the red circle there's only one screw to hold the sight onto your Picatinny rail. And in my opinion, this is a con. One screw is usually not enough for a scope. You should have at least two screws holding the scope on to a firearm or a crossbow, especially with all the vibration. I'm sure this will be, as we were sighting it in, we found that this screw had already come loose and we weren't getting consistency and we had to go over everything and of course make sure the screw was tight. So if you do get one of these, you might want to throw a little Loctite on that screw, and I don't even know if that's going to help, but you're going to want to check that screw each time you're out shooting. Well, I hope I've done this well. In the top left hand, you'll see the front, the screw that I've circled in red there. That is your right and left adjustment. And then in the bottom right, you will see I've circled the screw, and that is your elevation. Now the thing is the user manual is not very helpful when it comes to this, and kind of shoddy, which is disappointing. But because it does not have any MOA, so you have no idea how much to turn these screws. But I will tell you, in the top left picture there, that front screw, if you turn it half a turn, it's about an inch of MOA. Now, the bottom left here, I've tried to circle that little hole that's there because there's little holes for you to twist that elevation up and down. And each hole that you move it is about an inch at 20 yards. And these are all at 20 yards, these adjustments. So I thought I'd bring that out and show you to the best of my ability how to adjust the sight if you decide to pick one up for your crossbow or your bow or your gun.
Well, another thing I'd like to add about the sight adjustment is there is no digital adjustment to actually digitally adjust your crosshairs. It's all those manual adjustments in the back. And as I said, it just takes a bit of getting used to, a little bit of a learning curve for me, in a sense that you're adjusting the position of the scope on the bow or on your firearm compared to just adjusting the screws that usually adjust your crosshairs within the scope tube, or in my other digital scope, it actually has one shot zero, which is nice because I can take a shot and then I can press the one shot zero button and it actually brings up a double crosshair that are overlaying, and then I can move the one crosshair down to where my shot hit while the other crosshair stays on the bullseye where I want it to hit, and then I just hit render and it does it for me. It brings it all together and it puts it right on the bullseye. But this bow does not have that. And again, that other digital scope that I purchased is double the price or a little more, $900 US compared to $439 US. So keep all this in mind. This scope for what we want it for is probably going to work phenomenal. It's going to be great. We wanted something to record the kill shots better right off the bow. It does have a 2 to 6 times zoom, which I like. The 6 times zoom brings it in much closer. My little Safari cam, most GoPros and such, I believe only have 4 times zoom, which does not bring it in as close as you want sometimes, you know. So that is a good thing. That 6 times zoom, that 2 extra zoomies is very nice in my opinion. So let's get on and have a look at the rest of this, and then we'll have some closing remarks.
So in this image, I have circled the two large upper screws on the top. And I'm sure some of you are wondering, what are they for? Well, actually, they're just to hold your batteries in. It takes the CR123A 3-volt batteries. And with a set of batteries, you're going to get about 4 hours of life. You can buy rechargeable batteries for it and a charging system from Omega. Again, additional cost. And how long those batteries would last, I don't know. These batteries that cost in Canada are about $5 a battery. We can buy a 4-pack of these CR123A 3-volt batteries for $19.99. But by the time you add enviro tax and sales tax, they're a little over $5 a battery, Canadian. So that all being said, that pretty much covers my opinions of this site so far. I'm still learning things about it as we go. One thing I was not impressed with is customer service has not been very helpful at all. Jason has emailed them a few times. In the beginning, they conversed quite openly, and as he asked more questions and sent emails back, he didn't get any response. So that didn't impress me and didn't impress him either. Another thing is, we don't know when we get it on the 1080 HD setting if we will have to continue to rotate the videos 90 degrees. In my last video, if you watch it, you will see that I pointed out you have to rotate in your video editor. You have to rotate the videos off of that come off of this scope 90 degrees. It's kind of reminds me when you're taking a video with your phone, and the thing is, the phone has an automatic flip, but if you hold it straight up and down, you basically get a 720p picture, which leaves these black bars on the side, like you're seeing in this image. Or when you flip it on its side, you get a full screen view, which gives you a full 1080 HD. And with this scope, of course, we can't flip it on its side, so we're hoping that once we get it set on to the 1080 HD, that problem will no longer be there. We won't have to flip the videos, but we aren't sure at this point. Jason has taken the scope home with him, so I haven't had a chance to figure out how to do the setting. I believe, from what I've seen in the user manual, is we have to set it on the 1080p, and then we have to press the power button 3 times quickly to set that, so it doesn't jump back to this 720p or whatever it's recording it now. But we'll let you know as soon as we get that figured out too.
Well, I hope you found this video entertaining or helpful. Helpful mainly. But if you did, like I said before, please give us a like and share it and subscribe if you haven't done so far. But that's my video for today, and I hope this has helped you to make a decision if you're considering one of these scopes. Till next time, Greg from Two Old Guys with Crossbows, signing off.